Hey, what's up guys? I'm Josh from Trailbuilt.
I'm Brent from Trailbuilt.
So today we're gonna be prepping our winch to go off-roading. We got a big trip coming up this weekend with Wisconsin Jeep Owners Group. No, it's not a Jeep, but fortunately they allow us to come along, which is pretty cool. So
everybody calls it a Jeep, so
yeah, mine as well, or a Bronco.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna show you guys how to prep your winch every time before you go off-roading, just to make sure that cable or rope is in good condition. Make sure that it's spooled on the drum with some tension on the line, and what that's going to do is it's basically going to preload the weight on that line, keep some pressure on it. When you're winching in, the rope won't slip in between the other sections of rope, which could create a bind that could ball up. So you don't want that happening while you're winching. So we're going to prep this winch, because if you guys remember, we just did this winch video, the install video just a little bit ago. So we haven't ran the rope out yet, and we're gonna do that today in this 0-degree weather, which is fine. It's actually pretty nice out, being in the trees, and the sun is shining, so it's a beautiful day. But we're gonna show you guys basically how to prep your winch before you go off-roading, and we'll talk about some safety techniques as well with winching. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get started, and if you guys haven't already, checked out our YouTube channel, it's Trailbuilt Off-Road, and make sure hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you like the video, and if you do have any questions or any comments, anything like that, guys, just drop them in the comment section below. So I suppose we'll go ahead, we'll get ready, we'll
sounds good,
wind this baby out and get going. One of the things you'll definitely want to make sure you have with you is a good pair of leather gloves. Even if it is just synthetic cable, it's so easy to pinch your fingers in between the hook.
Yeah, so what we're going to do here is hook up the tree saver. That way you don't gouge up any of the bark or anything if you have a wire rope. And then when you want to hook the winch up to this, you got to hook from the bottom up, just like that. You should be good to go. This here is to protect the synthetic rope from making little baby synthetic rope. This sheave here just protects the first, like, I don't know, 4 feet just from getting frayed. It's kind of like just a protection for the synthetic rope.
Now that we have our hook, our tree saver, and our soft shackle all hooked up on that end, we're gonna spool in, we're gonna put some tension on the rope and make sure we got at least one wrap completely around the drum here. So keep in mind that if you do run your rope or cable all the way out and it's just being held on by the bolt or screw or whatever your cable is held on by, remember when you spool back in to keep the winch cable on the bottom side of the spool. That way it's not gonna try pulling from the top side of your spool, which obviously would then start rubbing on the front mount here. So something to keep in mind. And also another thing to keep in mind too is your winch pull rating, whatever pound capacity your winch is rated for, is rated off of pulling from the first wrap on the drum. So this one here is rated at, this rough country winch is rated at 12,000 pounds. That is if this synthetic cable is on the first wrap of the drum like it is now. So once you start spooling in and that line starts wrapping around the drum and starts layering up, each layer you'll lose about 15% of that pulling capacity.
Another thing is too, if you are having a short pull and you're worried about the capacity of the winch, you could always get a snatch block.
Absolutely.
That would double it up. So when you're winching, if you are using a short pull, that's something to consider too.
Absolutely. We're gonna get some tension on this rope. They say, and when I say they, the manufacturers, most of them, say that you'll want about 1,000 pounds of pressure on the line when you're spooling in to keep that tension on there. Because this is synthetic cable, it's not really that necessary to have a line damper on here, but again, it never hurts to be extra safe. If for some reason that tree saver broke, the soft shackle broke, or even the hook broke, it would just help prevent that hook from flying. one of the advantages with the synthetic rope is that it doesn't hold a lot of kinetic energy like the steel cable does. If you put a lot of tension on a steel cable and it snaps or the hook breaks, that thing is gonna go flying. So one of the advantages with the synthetic cable is that because it doesn't hold that kinetic energy, it'll actually just drop to the ground, which I'm gonna throw this jacket on there. So if in case something does happen, we're not even gonna take that chance that it's gonna hold energy and snap. So if you have a steel cable, you'll definitely always make sure that you have a line damper on there to absorb that energy, that force, if that hook breaks. And not only that, but if the hook breaks on a steel cable and that hook goes flying, this damper will grab that hook and bring it to the ground. So we're gonna make sure to have this damper on this synthetic line anyways. Never hurts to be too safe. All right, I'm just gonna move this damper down. And I am gonna place it closer to this side where the hook is. And that way it won't travel far before hitting that damper if something does happen. So I'm gonna just release this tension on here quick. All right, so we got that preload all set up on the drum, so it's nice and tight, so that way when we are out on the trail and we have to winch, we're not gonna have to worry about that line sneaking in between the other layers and getting caught up, getting bound up, balled up, whatever you wanna call it. So now that we have our winch all prepped, we're gonna go ahead and hook it back onto the hook, get the tree saver put back away. Now that we have everything all wrapped up, that has been a prepping your winch for every time you off-road. And with synthetic cable too, something to keep in mind is you really do want to spool that out about once a month and retension it back up. And if it does get saturated from rain or snow or just going through water, you'll definitely want to pull that winch, that synthetic line out, let it dry, and that way that'll help prevent it from deteriorating or degrading when it's just sitting on that spool. The other good thing to do with synthetic line is also to have a cover, because UV rays will wreck this line as well. It will degrade that line, so have it covered, and that'll help keep your winch line lasting a heck of a lot longer. So I think that's all we got. So keep an eye out for our upcoming videos. We are gonna be off-roading coming up here, so we're gonna have some cool video for that. And then guys too, if you haven't checked out our website, it's trailbuiltoffroad.com, and we do have all sorts of accessories on there, rough country winches, tire and wheel packages, suspension, all kinds of good stuff. So that's trailbuiltoffroad.com. Other than that, we definitely appreciate all of you for watching. I'm Josh from Trail Built. I'm gonna go wake up Brent. He's probably sleeping. It's nice and cozy in there, so I'm gonna go wake him up, and then we're gonna head back to the shop. So we'll see you guys out on the trails.